So I'm here with my good friend Keith Anderson, who in my humble opinion, may be the best IT staffer in all of Atlanta.
May. It's not the operative word I would have used, but thank you.
Yeah, seriously. He and I have been friends for a long time, and we've done a ton of networking together. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is just some of the best ways to network. I think you're a genius at it.
Thank you. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what I have to say.
And since you are in, the staffing business, you obviously are networking a lot with both candidates, but also people that are looking for candidates to hire. So it's just it's just inbred in you.
It is.
It's something you do every single day.
Yep.
Whether you know it or not.
You got to do it every day.
So with that, one of the things that I would, kind of question and throw out there is what are the best ways to network or to get introductions?
Well, it comes back to, being intentional.
Okay.
I think I said to you earlier that, you don't kind of go looking for referrals when you need them. It's kind of
it's too late.
It's too late. It's kind of like dieting or working out. When you're in a rush to do either, it's going to be really painful and it's not going to be very effective. So do a little bit of it every day. I would say make it about the other person. So if I'm calling you to get an introduction to somebody else, try and add some value to your day as well.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, I always try and make it as easy for the person that I'm asking a referral from to help me.
Yes.
And that goes back to being intentional. So, do your homework instead of just saying, who do you know? Already, kind of a sneaking suspicion of 2 or 3 people that they're connected to or they've worked with in the past.
Right.
And say, hey, you must know Patrick. You must know Ben Bowie.
Yep.
On LinkedIn, they say if you reference a person's name that a stranger you don't know knows, you get something like a 70% response.
Right.
So it's just the same principle.
Gotcha. And that makes sense. I mean, do your homework, reach out, know who you want to ask about.
Right.
I hate to say it, but the Northwestern Mutual people are really good about that. Annoyingly so, because they're always like written it down, come here, and like, here are the 10 people, can you... So make it a little more natural.
Definitely make it more conversational, a little bit more natural, but be transparent.
Right.
People, a lot of recruiters can get jaded, and because you're constantly reconciling a lot of different people's expectations, and as with all sales and business development, you're getting a lot of no's. But it's been my firm belief that 99% of people want to help somebody else. You just got to give them a compelling business reason to do so, or just be transparent, or make it easy for them to do so.
Yeah. Before I ask about the job market, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it, are there any other kind of golden rules or things that you live by when it comes to networking and introductions?
I always pay it forward. You're really good at making referrals to me, and I try and reciprocate.
You do a good job reciprocating.
Thank you. We've both done a couple of transactions. Pretty recently, just because we were thinking of each other.
Yeah.
So I always reward the people that reward me, and it's not. It's not. You do business with the people you like doing business with.
Yes.
And I know that it's not a quid pro quo, but I've got a lot of respect for you. So if I'm going to refer somebody in the real estate industry, you're my first thought.
Yeah.
Even if it's not right, because I know you'll point them in the right direction. So I know the person's being taken care of. So, again, it's always, trying to make it about the other person and not about you.
Yeah. I remember Jim Hewling gave me a good book. He was at Matrix Resources forever, the CEO, and it was called Net Weaving, which is kind of a boring book, and I'm just going to sum it up for everybody right here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
But it is the thought that as long as, it's kind of like karma. You're paying it forward, and as long as you continue to pay it forward, eventually it'll come back to you.
Right.
I think Steve Beecham, Bass Ackwards or marketing or whatever he is, like he talks about that too. But.
Well, when I first got started in the business, we didn't have LinkedIn. You couldn't run, ads would be maybe on Sunday and they'd cost you $15,000 for a 3x5.
Right.
So you didn't get those very often. And so we used to play this game called the name game, and you just pick up a file of, somebody you interviewed previously, and you'd strike up a conversation with them, and you'd see how many conversations you could have because you spoke to that person and you knew where they worked, you knew who they knew, and you tried to see how far you could take it, which goes back to kind of one of my golden rules, which is it's not where you begin, it's where you end up. And you kind of never know where it's going to take you.
Yeah.
So, and just having an open mind that it's not always a straight line.
I like that. All right, so now to the job market.
Yes.
Best ever for candidates.
Yes, this would date me. I've been through 3 economic cycles in this industry.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And this is by far the tightest labor market, and across all segments. I mean, the entire economy is firing on all cylinders and has been doing so for a while. And hopefully we'll continue to do so.
Right.
But yes, I mean, it's also the highest velocity job market I've ever seen.
Interesting.
Meaning that people don't stay in jobs as long as they used to.
Yep.
Companies don't want people to stay in jobs as long as they used to.
Which we talked about.
Yep. So it's kind of a two-way street. And so you've got, the irony is the tighter the labor market, the easier it is to recruit people.
Interesting.
Because they perceive making a change as being less risky.
So
if this one doesn't work out, I can always find another one.
So what advice are you giving the companies that are hiring you to go find people? Like, how do you attract that top talent?
Yep. So a couple of things. One, don't go looking when you need it. It goes back to what I said earlier, that's going to be hard and painful, and you'll usually end up with the most readily available candidate versus the one you really want.
Not the best.
And sometimes that can be the right person.
Yeah.
But when you're, if you have a particular tech stack or you're in a particular segment of the industry, I specialize in working with a lot of like emerging and 50 to say 500 employee companies. So their engineering departments can be anywhere from 10 to maybe 50. Or that's pretty sizable, but not giant. The number one untapped resource that they have are the people that are already working in their department.
Good point.
So going back to asking for referrals, most internal HR people will say, well, yeah, we have a referral bonus program, but that's kind of passive. You're waiting for someone to have something, like one of their buddies call them, and then they refer them to HR, and next thing you know, you get a cash bonus or something. Be a little bit more intentional, be proactive, and constantly be, not in an annoying way, but constantly following up with your best performing engineers and know where they used to work.
Yep.
Look at who they used to work with. They might not be where they were before. And say, hey, you must know, Raj and Jack and Carolyn, good people. Would they fit in here with our tech stack and culture?
Yeah.
Would you like to work with them again? And if they say yes, then great. Reach out to them and reference that we were speaking about you.
Yeah.
You used to work with Patrick and spoke highly of you, and so wanted to talk to you. And don't sell them a job. Just start an introduction, start a dialogue, and make it about them. How are you doing? Right? You feel like you're someplace that is giving you the opportunity to get exposed to the tools and the business and technical issues that are keeping you really engaged. And if so, great, congratulations. If not, let's talk about how we might be able to engage you.
I like it. Good advice.
Yep.
Well, Keith, thank you. Appreciate it.
My
you guys
pleasure.
need any IT staffing? He's the man. I mean, seriously, I've watched you hire people left and right for a certain company that's both our clients, and I mean, they've grown. I mean, I can't even tell you how fast they've grown, and you continue to put people in front of them. Good people too. So
yeah, we stood that company up in 45 days. So
yes, we did.
Yeah.
So appreciate it, Keith.
My pleasure. Thank you.